coming. Thank you, Sean, for that great introduction, and thank you, Chris, for Royal Kitchen Bath for loaning the place here to us. Anybody here think that your taxes are too high? Yeah. Anybody think that your government's too big? Yeah. Anybody think that we ignore the Constitution at our own peril? Yeah. A business like this, Royal Kitchen and Bath, how do they succeed? How are they succeeding with all of the obstacles we place in their way? We have a tax code that's 70,000 pages. You saw what I'd like to do it, burn it, put it in a wood chipper. Every politician comes to town and says, I'm going to save your jobs. I'm going to do something to create jobs. Well, why are our jobs leaving America? Why are our jobs going overseas? And why are companies reincorporating overseas? Because our taxes are too damn high. We can't monkey around with the tax code. We can't massage it or remove a page here and there. We have to get rid of the whole damn thing. We would replace it with a tax return that you can put on one page. 14.5% for businesses like Chris's, 14.5% for individuals. Everybody pays the same rate. Democrats will say, oh, that's only for rich people. Part of my response is, when's the last time you worked for a poor person? Rich people create jobs because they take risks. But our taxes will go one step further. Our tax plan will eliminate the payroll tax. No more FICA, no more payroll tax. If you make $40,000 a year, you don't pay much income tax, but you pay about $2,000 in FICA. We eliminate that, and it gets paid out of the payroll tax. It's the first item. So we completely fund Social Security, we completely fund Medicare, and there are a few other things in government. You know what? We might have to cut some of government. Now the Democrats will also say, but where would we cut? We've cut to the bone. I have a list of about 100 things I could tell you. I'm going to tell you 3 of them. We spent 600 grand, nearly 700 grand, studying whether or not it relieves stress in the Vietnamese to watch American reruns on TV. I'm not making this up. We spent $10 million to reinterpret and translate Sesame Street into Pakistani. $10 million. We spent $800,000 in Afghanistan to televise a cricket league. You know how many people have a TV in Afghanistan? 1 out of every 10,000 people has a TV. Well, where's the money coming from? Doesn't grow on trees. We're either printing it up or borrowing it from China. We borrow money from China to send it to Pakistan. Is that crazy? It's insane. We borrow money from China to send it to Pakistan, to send it to Egypt, to send it to Libya, you name it. So when we had a big thing going on with the Muslim Brotherhood took over Egypt, I said, well, doesn't sound like they're our friends. Just guessing, all right? So let's cut off sending them tanks and arms and planes and billions of dollars that we must borrow from China first. You know how many votes I had? 22 people voted with me, all Republicans, but about 25 Republicans voted no, and every Democrat voted to keep sending your money to Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt. That's what's wrong with your country. Your representatives aren't representing you. None of you want that, and yet your senators and congressmen keep voting to send this money around the world. I introduced another amendment in the Foreign Relations Committee. It said that we shouldn't send money, any money, to countries that persecute Christians, and we defined that by I'm not just making up what that means. We defined it by the death penalty, being persecution, sounds like persecution to me, death penalty or life imprisonment for interfaith marriage, changing your religion, or saying something critical about the state religion. It's about 25 countries that have those laws on the books, and they do enforce them, and yes, you do send money to them. In Pakistan, there's a woman by the name of AUG Bibi. She went to draw water from the well, and as she did, the women of the village and the men of the village began beating her with sticks and stoning her. As she lay bleeding on the ground, yelling and crying out for help, the police finally came and arrested her. They accused her of being critical of the state religion. She sits on death row in Pakistan while you continue to plow money. Billions after billions into Pakistan. You know what? We've got some problems at home. Why don't we look at rebuilding America? People sometimes ask me, what's the worst thing the president's doing to the country? And I tell them, how long do you have? I've got a long list and I can talk a long time. But if I wanted to sum it all up, it isn't just Obamacare, which was terrible for the country. It wasn't just the banking regulations that's killing the ability of businesses, local businesses to get loans, or homeowners to get loans. If you want to sum it all up, what the president is doing to the country, oh, that's right, didn't he used to live just down the road from here? Would y'all like him back? But we want to know what the worst thing he's done? It's the collapse of the separation of powers. He's gobbling up and grabbing all the power for the presidency for unelected bureaucrats, and we're going to stop him. One of the greatest things our founders gave us was that they divided the power. We're supposed to have co-equal branches of government. And Madison said we would pit ambition against ambition. The ambition of Congress to try to get more power, against the president to try to get more power, against the judiciary. And they would check and balance each other. Hadn't been working so well for us. This president got defeated in the Congress, in the House, and in the Senate. Now he says, I've got my phone, I've got my pen, I'm just going to do whatever the hell I want. That's a problem. Montesquieu described it this way. Montesquieu was one of the philosophers that our founders looked to and helped us to come up with the idea of co-equal branches. Montesquieu said that when the executive, the president, when the executive begins to legislate, a form of tyranny will ensue. That's what we're facing, my friends. We're facing a form of tyranny. We won't call him a tyrant, all right, we won't go there. But the thing is this is the fear when so much power gravitates into the hands of one person. And it's not just this president. It happened with previous presidents. When you got a Republican president, Republican Congress, they say, give him more power. That's our guy or our gal. Give him more power. Republicans have been guilty of this as well. Your congressmen and your senators are guilty because they give up the power. If we fought tooth and nail and said we're not going to let that happen, we could stop them. I think every regulation should be voted on by Congress. The regulatory code may be hurting businesses more than the taxes. It's just as long. Tens of thousands of pages of regulatory code. And you know what? I don't ever get to vote on any of it. The thing on greenhouse gases, we should debate and Congress should vote on it. He's going to do this by royal edict. An unelected bureaucrat does this and we have no way to stop it. This is a real problem. So not only do you need a new president, you largely need a new, stronger, and more constitutional Congress. People say, well, how are we going to win? There's about 18 states we haven't won in 30 some odd years in the presidency. I think Illinois might be one of them. It's tough to win in the bigger states when you have bigger turnout in the presidential years. And it's very simple why. We don't get enough African American vote. We have to get more African American vote if we're going to win. That's why I was here 3 weeks ago on the south side of Chicago with an African American minister who has his own private school down there, who many of the people I met that day came up to me and said one thing about Chicago: the money allocated for the poor never reaches the poor. It's gobbled up by the Chicago machine. You got to be related to somebody.